visionary life coach, well known in the industry as a caregiver coach. This month is National Family Caregivers Month, so I know you are excited being a caregiver coach, but tell the listeners who are not aware of what is a caregiver coach.
Hello. First of all, let me say thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. So I want to shout out all the caregivers all over the country because, yes, it is National Family Caregiver Month. And so, yes, I am excited to be here. And for all the people who are not aware of what a caregiver coach is, we provide one-on-one support to family caregivers to help them understand their options better and making informative decisions that will help them meet the challenge and responsibilities of caring for their loved ones. So that is a good one because there are many different types of caregivers, and when you hear caregiver, you think of family caregiver, you think of someone taking care of just the family, but there are several different kinds, and off the top of my head, I would say family caregivers, professional caregivers, independent caregivers, private duty caregivers, informal caregivers, and volunteer caregivers. I have been a family caregiver because, I take care of people in my family, but I've also been an independent or private duty caregiver as well. So those are the many different types of caregivers that we have out there. And if I left anyone out or any type out, please forgive me because I'm only going off the top of my head. But yeah.
No, you're doing great. Now, we know you are a coach, but you are also a caregiver for your adult special needs son. Is that correct?
That's correct. Xavier, he is 21 years old. He'll be 22 this year. So, yep, Xavier. Well, so Xavier is my special bright light in my life, and I use that because we try to get away from the labels, but that's what the world does. So Xavier is severe developmental delay as well as a little artistic and have some mental illness. And so we've been dealing with Xavier's diagnosis since he was about 3 years old. I knew early on, and so I started seeking the support, the help, everything I needed to kind of get in place with how am I going to process being his advocate, his voice. And over the years, I learned enough to be the caregiver as well as the mom. And separating that, was very hard. But because I'm over every decision he makes, I have a legal guardianship power of attorney that allowed me to definitely make decisions on Xavier's behalf and his future. And now he is, working towards independency, and we're just trying to see what that looks like. So it's been a journey, but we have been taking this journey by storm, and we're sharing with the world one day at a time that you're not in it alone.
Awesome. That is amazing. How long have you been a caregiver coach, and why did you choose that type of coaching?
That's a pretty easy question for me to answer. I get that all the time. So I graduated let me go back. In 2015, I had some health issues. I was a licensed master barber stylist of over 15 years. Of over 35 years. 15. Over 35 years, I had 2 salons, one in a Fortune 500 company, and one by the Tyler Berry studio in the Greenbrier area area in Atlanta, Georgia. And all of a sudden, my lungs collapsed. I had fluid on my lungs from inhaling the fumes and the products for so long because I was licensed at 18 years old. I was actually doing hair at 12, cutting people in the neighborhood, getting in trouble for messing their hair up. So, yeah, just sixth grade, it's trying to comb my friend's hair. And so in the process of that, I literally said, what am I going to do? And I said, I could do motivation, something. So I heard that Tony Gaston was having a life coaching program coming to Atlanta. And at the time, I was a resident of Atlanta. And so I said, I got to get in this program. And it was a little pricey, but just my luck that week, I decided I'm going to be proactive about changing my career. That was when he had a special. And I said, oh, my God, I can get in. So I emailed him, and I jumped in to become a life coach, graduated from Tony Gaston's academy. And when I finished, he said, everybody has to find their niche. What kind of coach are you going to be? And I said, what's a niche and what's a coach? Why can't I just be a life coach? And he said, no, you have to pick something. I said, I have a special needs son. And he said, well, I have, a program where all the coaches go under, which is called My Mentor. And he said, you have to pick a category, and that way people can seek you out. And they only had an autism special need coach. And I said, no, I just, I don't know. That's like too stuck, like I'm stuck in one area. Right. So I kind of branched out, and I said, you know what? I want to say caregiver because I am a caregiver. I see it on both sides of the fence. I've cared for others. I've had people care for my son. So in that sense, I'm going to go for something that's familiar, and this is my everyday life. So I wanted to help people with the struggles of what I had been through, the challenges, and how I overcame them. So that's why I wanted to develop the expertise of being the caregiver coach and stay in that area because it's my everyday life. It's my truth.
Okay, awesome. So what can you say to someone who is not a caregiver by trade or career, but not finding themselves taking care of a family member or loved one and is feeling overwhelmed?
I would tell them to just breathe. Life circumstances happen to us, and sometimes we can't choose our battles will choose us. So in that sense, I always try to share that there's help out there. You're not alone. Ask for help, ask the questions, and kind of take a step back before you walk into that space of now my world is about to change. Because there is resources, there are places you can go to get the support and the help you need, especially if you were just a doctor, a pharmacist, or a teacher, and now all of a sudden you're caring for your husband, your mother, your daughter, or your son, because of a tragic situation or, something happened. So I get it, and this is why we have communities for that. So I would just start off, and the first word I would tell them is take a deep breath and just breathe.
Just breathe. Yeah. Can you give us an example of 3 ways a caregiver can help be successful at their role and making decisions on every level?
Now, that's another one that I find so easy to answer, and it may seem like it's complicated, but it's not. I think when I first got into the space, I was about to lose it because my whole life changed. But what I did was I said, I got to develop a team. I got to develop, family to come in and see. And it wasn't as easy as overnight people changing, shifting their life. But 3 examples I always tell them that they can be successful is make sure you get support. Go straight in and start saying, you know what, where can I get resources, support? Who's going to be a part of my team? Find your olive branch. Find your oxygen mask. Find, what you're going to put on for the days you can't be present or if you don't feel well. Who's going to help you? So start building a support list. The second thing is ask for help. That means before you leave the doctor's office, before you do anything, make sure you stop and get the help that you need. And tell them, I don't know where to go. I don't know the resources. I don't know how I could be better at being this caregiver. So tell me what you need me to do. Like, tell me some things that'll help me. And that's asking for the help from the doctors, from the communities. And then, the third one was the first one I said earlier, just breathe. There are communities on Facebook, churches, nonprofit organizations. There are all kinds of things that will help you better be ready to be in this position that you're thrust upon, like pushed into. So those are my top three, and I'll go back really quick, ask for help, get support, and just breathe.
All right. So real quickly, Social Justice, can you tell the listeners the difference between a caregiver and a caretaker, or is it a difference? Because the question I was even curious about myself. That was a question I was curious about.
Sure. So most caregivers, especially family caregivers, take care of their family and loved ones, and you don't get paid for that. Most of the time, there are things now that are coming in place where you can get paid. But to be honest, there's no pay for that. But a caretaker is one that comes in, that is hired sometime, that takes care of the family member that gets paid. Sometimes they've lived in the house to help assist. So there are different roles that a caretaker plays that a caregiver does not play, or does not do. And the difference is, again, if you are a caregiver, you're probably taking care of a loved one, or you're, working for an agency because these people are elderly, they're disabled, they can't take care of themselves. But a caretaker can be someone who was assigned or hired to take care of someone on that spectrum because you can't or you just don't have time.
Wow, I never knew that before.
Yeah.
I never knew that. So that's just amazing to see that there's a difference, because I never thought that there was a difference. So I hear you are an author, right? Entrepreneur like me. So tell the listeners a little bit about your books, what the latest book project you are working on, and are the books geared to your caregiver audience?
So all of those are great questions. And yes, you are an entrepreneur like me. So I'm excited about that, from author to author. But I want to say that I did several different books before I kind of understood the book world. And the latest book that I'm working on now that's finishing up is Caregiver to Caregiver. And it's just a journal. It's just really me putting things and tips and inspiration and motivation, just something very light for them, things that can help them get over their day. I'm coming back to do another Caregiver to Caregiver project, which I want to do, which is a co-author book, and I'm putting that together now. But I wanted to start putting some things together for my caregivers, because my first couple of books was my self-help book, and then my motivation and inspiration book. So all of them were different kinds. I did one on mental health, which was a co-author project. And, then I said, what, let me get proactive about starting to move and gear towards my caregiver audience, because this is a season where we need to be able to have something tangible that we can pick up. So all of my books, you can find them on my website, or, message me. You can find me anywhere, but my website is www.coachamazing, without the G, .com. And so again, everything is kind of pretty easy to find, but I'm excited about my new project because I just feel like it's going to be in the hands, and it's going to be an ebook that people can download, and I'm giving it away for free. So I wanted to give back for all the people who have just been so amazing to me in the caregiver community, taking me in one by one, and it's been an amazing safe haven, an amazing safe space. And so, yeah, and I'm excited about that.
Awesome. So Caregiver Coach Amazing. I really loved your name. is amazing. Just your coaching name, is amazing. Is that your coaching name or your legal name? Tell us about it, and if you're feeling up to it, sharing Coach Amazing, let us know what that's all about.
So let me just tell you, it's a funny story about my name. And yes, my name is amazing because I didn't have a middle name. My mother, when I was born, and so I was working in a corporate environment, but it was my salon, and one of my clients, he was, oh my God, he's so amazing. He became my spiritual advisor, and he said, oh my God, you're such a bright light. You're so beautiful. You're just amazing. And he said, what's your middle name? And I said, I don't have one. And he said, why? And I said, I don't know. My mom didn't give me one. And he said, well, then if you could have one, what would you say? And I said, I don't know. And he said, how about amazing? And I said, okay. And then we laughed. And he said, well, what if I give you the money to get your name changed? And I said, you can really do that? And he said, yes. So I told my godmother, who is about 70 years old, and she said, sweetheart, you can't be amazing. And I said, why? She said, because God is amazing, and you're amazing. So when I did the paperwork, it was $180. I went to Cobb County Courthouse, and I got my paperwork together, and I went, and you have to go before a judge. And so when my day came, the judge said, so can you tell me, why do you think you're amazing? And I said, as you can see, Your Honor, there is not a G on the end of that because I'm amazing, and God is amazing. And he said, works for me. Okay, it's done. And so that's how I became Angela Amazing Tate. So that was such a blessing for me because I transformed into the amazing within. And that is how my journey started with Angela Amazing.
I love it. So amazing.
Yes, I did that all the time. I did that all the time. And you know what? There's power in the name. It's power in what you put out in the atmosphere. So for me, I came from some pretty heavy, pretty rough background, pretty toxic, it was get it how you live. But I started, doing the work. I started doing personal development, self-healing, self-help, and getting, counseling. So, just getting what I needed. And on that journey, I do remember just feeling like everything I was putting out was coming back. And so I could feel it. So when you put anything down to your name, your energy, what comes out of your mouth, it comes right back to you. That's the law of attraction. So I had to throw that in.
Yes. Well, do you have any resources to offer and share with the listeners that will help them on their journey?
Yes, so right now I'm putting together a resource list which will be available by the end of this month because I want to not miss anything. So I've been working towards that, and you can find that on my website again at www.coachamazing.com. And message me, email me, Twitter. I'm on Twitter as I am Coach Amazing. I'm on Instagram as I am Coach Amazing. I'm on Facebook as I'm Angela Amazing Tate, the caregiver coach. But message me and I will get that to you as soon as it's ready. And if you hear this broadcast later, which you probably will, you can always go back and do the replay, and it'll tell you just where to get your free stuff. So I have a group on Facebook that I'm connected to, and then a good friend of mine has a podcast, The Oxygen Mass Effect. I love it because we all are in the same space. And then I have another one who's the facilitator, Kate Harkland. So it's a group, but I didn't want to just start calling out names and stuff. So I want you to hang in there, follow me, connect, and go to my website. And if it's not there when you get there, message me and say, hey, Angela, I'm looking for the list of resources, because that is very vital to someone who's a caregiver, or maybe you run across someone who needs the resources and don't know where to find them at.
Right. Absolutely. So we are coming to the end of this interview, but not before you tell everyone how and where they can find you on all your platforms.
So I'll say it again. But before I say it, I'll tell you that you can find me at, and I'm excited, so I'm going to do a free little plug, so bear with me here. But you can find me in Miami on March the 19th at the Boss Up Conference. I'm excited about that, and I know that is not where you're going to probably say, well, I'm going to get it before that. Okay, but then you can go to Instagram at I Am Coach Amazing. You can go to my Twitter, I Am Coach Amazing. You can go to my Facebook, Angela Amazing Tate, the caregiver coach. And I'm trying to see, I'm on linked up as Angela Amazing Tate, the caregiver coach. So you can find me anywhere, but I would love to see you support me and come to Miami. Let's make this happen so that we could start the year off strong. I'm excited about that. I'm going to have a lot of things going on for my caregivers. I want to meet people. I want them to come to other places because sometimes you just need a break. So start planning to get somebody to take care of your loved ones, your family, your friend, whoever you're caring for, and meet me in Miami so we can talk about it because I got a special surprise for all my listeners who are going to show up in Miami. So you can get your tickets now. Tickets are on Eventbrite. Go to Bossed Up Conference. I'll drop it under the comments when this interview is over. But listen, try to celebrate you. I believe in self-care, and I know the interview is coming to an end, but you matter. So I promote self-care because it was a time I woke up being a caregiver for everybody. I stopped caring for myself. And when I looked in the mirror and I saw the pictures, and I keep those pictures to this day, that's a reminder of, Angela, you have to take care of you and not everybody else at your own expense and well-being and your health because you are no good to no one else. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. It has been an amazing conversation. Thank you for having me on this podcast. My son was on the podcast earlier in the week. We talked about mental illness, and it has really changed the dynamics of just being visible, getting out there and talking about some things because sometimes you're holding it in and you don't know who to talk to and where to go. So thank you for having this platform for us so that we can be able to share with the listeners around the world. And I just want to say thank you and see y'all at the conference. And don't forget, I'm at CoachAmazing.com without the G.
All right. So what do you want to leave the listeners with today? I almost let you get away before asking, what's a fun fact or something that the listeners don't know about Coach Amazing? And is there any shout-outs?
So the shout-outs was already done. I shouted out everybody who's a caregiver because all caregivers or all superheroes don't wear capes. That's everybody in the industry because we're better together. So I was shouting out everybody who do the little work down to the receptionist at the doctor's office, like everybody. I'm going on. So it's a lot. Like 911, the EMTs, everybody. We all are in this together around the country. That was my shout out. But the fun fact is, and I tell this story, and I just did it on the last podcast interview. I like country music. I like the most quirkiest things. And so I'll never forget I was working at the salon and one of my clients came in. She said, "Oh, you can cut that music off now." She said, "The lady's gone." And my coworker was Caucasian, so she thought that was the music she was listening to. And I said, no, that's what I'm listening to. Girl, you don't have to fool them people. They're gone. You can cut it off. And I said, no. I really love country music.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, so that don't even make sense to me because you don't look like you like country music. So it doesn't help either that when I pull up at Burger King or McDonald's or fast food, I'm listening to music in Spanish, and I don't know Spanish, but I love the music. So it's crazy. I love different types of music that doesn't kind of fit the image. And so I get in trouble for that all the time because people are like, what are you listening to? You don't even understand. It's okay. I love it. I love the music. I love it. So yeah, that's a fun fact about me that a lot of people don't know, so they always judge a book by its cover. So yeah.
Never judge a book by its cover. But Coach Amazing, you're so amazing. I mean, every time I speak to you, you give me so much comfort.
Thank
Just
you.
hearing your voice, it just makes me get through the day. And it's like I need, everybody needs that motivation to keep going. And there's so much pleasantry like in your voice, and there's so much
Thank
confidence.
you.
So I really, really, really want to thank you so much for this interview. And we will see you in Miami at the Boss
Yes, I'm excited.
Conference.
So if I seem like I'm super pumped, y'all, I apologize, but I pulled over to make sure I caught this interview on time, just to make sure I say, meet me in Miami. I got a surprise for you. If you come to Miami, then look for me, because we going to get this party started for 2022, and you got to be in the house. So I want to make sure everybody catches this broadcast, because we'll be replaying, but you'll hear from me again. So I'll be back on again before Miami, and look forward to hearing you, and message me and just let me know you heard it, or drop in the comments or somewhere that you got a chance to hear this interview, and it'll be good. So you guys have a great weekend. Happy Veterans Day, because it's Veterans Day here, and I appreciate you having this platform once again, and you take care.
We'll stay bossed up, and we'll see you guys on the next show. Okay, we have Xavier X Wanna Be Great on our show today, and he's going to talk about the struggles for athletes and having mental illness. So, Xavier, how are you really doing these days? Can you introduce yourself a little bit and tell everyone what made you want to do this podcast interview with us? Okay, that's awesome. I saw an article you did a few months back somewhere that said you are a special needs athlete and you love wrestling. Can you tell us briefly about that? Cope with it. Okay. Okay, I also hear you are a native of Atlanta, Georgia, but are currently living in Texas. Are you liking Texas, and was it a big change from Georgia? Right. So, what's one good thing you can share with us about Texas or Georgia that you like? Okay. So what is X wanna be great all about? I know that's your IG name, but why not X is great? Can you share with the listeners why you picked that name?
I picked X wanna be great because Xavier is short for X, and X wanna be great is a little bit my story of when I played football in high school. I had a lot of coaches that called me Xavier, but then they started calling me X because X is short for Xavier. Want to be great. I always told my coaches in practice that I was going through it back when I was in high school because I was homeless and I was going through living from place to place and I was kind of walking to practice. I would sacrifice just to go to practice. I would catch Ubers. I would sleep at my coach's house. I would just do a lot of things. And I told my coach one day I'm going to get a scholarship for football or any sport. And I did get two scholarships with two wrestling colleges. And I just told my coach I just want to be great. Whatever I want to do, I want to be great. I want to be the best at it. And I cried. And that was my senior quote. No matter how many times I cry, I just want to be great at whatever I do. And that's always been my mindset, to be great at my job. I want to be great at anything I do in life.
Right. That's very important because a lot of people they need that influence or that father figure, and a lot of people who don't have a father in their life they find that through sports or through their coaches. Because I can relate to that. I have a nephew named a cousin named Xavier, and they called him X while he was playing football, and that was
Yeah,
kind of his influence. That was his role model because he didn't have a father in his life. So
yeah,
he played sports, and that kind of was his comfort zone for him.
yeah,
But then, he got with those friends, and then he went the wrong direction. So it's very important, to keep some type of model in front of you so that you can, keep improving and you don't go sideways. So I commend you for that. Who are some of your favorite athletes? Are there any? Are they special needs as well?
yes. They have one athlete named Zion Clark. He is a college wrestler and he's a motivational speaker. He has no legs. He wrestles with his arms. And I just watched the Netflix series called Zion Clark, and I followed him on Instagram. He's been traveling to New York and on a treadmill with his hands. And like I said, he has no legs. And his story is just motivational. He was teased in high school, and I also was teased in high school. A lot of people knew me. He found wrestling as the way out. I have other athletes that follow me on Instagram. They have David Carr. David Carr is one of the best wrestlers in the world right now, and he does college wrestling at Iowa State University. And he's a Division One athlete. I got a scholarship to wrestle with his brother Jay Carr at Northwest Kansas Technical College, and I turned the scholarship down because the team didn't accept me for who I am, and that why I didn't go to that school because of the team. I reached out to them. So yes, and Roman Bravo Young, he's another athlete that wrestles at Penn State University. He messaged me on Instagram and Twitter recently, and he said, just keep grinding. I'm a funny guy. Jordan Burroughs is the Michael Jordan wrestler.
Oh,
And
okay.
yes, so he's one of the best wrestlers. He wrestled at University of Nebraska, and his theme is all I see is gold. Because all he wins is gold medals. And my motivation is like motivational speakers like Joel Osteen, Eric Thomas, Inky Johnson, and Les Brown. And I like rap music like Rod Wave and NBA Youngboy. I like music.
Okay, so would you say that they are your favorite athletes because they have special needs?
Yes, or they're the best of what they do, which is
Okay.
different.
Okay, so is it okay for me to share with the listeners that I spoke to your mom and she told me you are a motivation to so many when it comes to mental illness and you are an advocate and a peer support specialist for mental illness? Also, that's how you and your mom came up with No More Labels and how proud she is of you. Can you share a little on that topic with the listeners, please?
Well, yes, no more labels is a brand when you're not labeled for being disabled. In Providence King means you're a king. And no more labels just means you're not labeled. You're taking all the labels off. You're not disabled. You're not special. You're not depressed. You're not bipolar. You're not special in any kind of way. You're a king. And you're normal just like everyone else.
Awesome. Xavier, would you say you and your family cope with the day-to-day struggles when it comes to mental illness? And how many siblings do you have as well?
I have a sister named Angel Nicole. Angel Nicole, me and her kind of go through it sometimes. We kind of argue. We kind of fight sometimes. Kind of have hardships. And that's what my other sibling, Emmett, as well. Emmett is a rapper. You know, we have a song coming out
Oh,
um,
awesome.
for my birthday.
Congratulations.
Yes, we have a birthday song coming out for my birthday, and him and my mom has a song called Dear Mama. It released for Mother's Day. Emmett is a rapper. My sister has a brand called Mom 342, and my mom is currently a nurse right now in the caregiver. And I've been working at a nursing home, attending UC Community College, and just working at a nursing home. Sometimes it's hard
Mhm.
because they need me to wash dishes, they need me to bring carts up, they need me to do a lot in a nursing home, and it can be too overwhelming and too
Right.
stressful. Well, I talked to the head chef. We kinda talk with the hiring manager named Marvin. We just talk about things to help me better my job, and that helps
To
me.
help you better cope with the duties of the job. Okay. So
And I
what
have
can go ahead?
and I have had friends in the environment and the people around me that's trouble and the negativity. I also change that sometimes because of the environment, the people, and the trouble, and the friends. I have friends. I hear voices. I see things. And I kind of have like demons, and I'm fighting battles.
Right.
Sometimes I don't take my medication.
Which is a part of the mental illness. Right.
Yeah, and I'm
Mhm.
becoming depressed and suicidal, and I attend mental hospital to take a break and all this stuff. But my mom is always there for me. You always need someone that's there for you. My mom is always there for me.
Mom is always going to be there for you. So Xavier, what can you tell someone who is feeling down and out because of the I'm sorry, like what would you say what would you tell someone who is feeling down and out because of the quote unquote labels or because they are special needs or have a disability that are listening today from your experience?
I would say for someone with special need and going through depression, listen to music like Rod Wave or Young Boy, someone that helps you watch movies like Michael Jordan, The Last Dance, watch football, watch basketball, find a celebrity or just go to church and just listen to motivation or just anything or
Okay.
Just take a mental break, turn your phone off. Now I kind of don't get any messages or calls because now I don't like seeing notifications. I don't like seeing. It makes me overwhelmed.
Right.
Stress. So I turn on my notifications off, my Instagram DMs, my text messages, my phone calls, my email, Snapchat. I turn all of it off.
Right.
I respond to when I want to, post when I want to, or because it's very stressful. So you kind of have to find a way to let it know that it's your mental illness, how you need to cope with it.
I think that we all go through that sometimes. We all have to, cut off our notifications, turn off our phone, because sometimes you just need that mental break.
Yes, and
Right.
also I have some good news. I'm going next year, April 1st. I have a college visit. I didn't announce it yet. I have a college visit with Superior University in Texas. It's a Division III school. They reached out to me. They want me to visit next year, April 1st.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
So yes, and I'll also be 22. And now that I have chain wrestling is Instagram page that sent me a shirt and they messaged me and they want me to wear their shirt. So shout out to them.
Wow, that is amazing. Amazing. So, Xavier, can you tell the listeners something funny or fun about yourself that we don't know about you that would surprise us?
Something fun about me is I like to drive. I like to listen to music. I like to go to church. I like to travel. I like to watch basketball. I have a cousin named Kayla Wells. She plays basketball at Texas A&M. And I just like to dance sometimes. I like to do the Dougie.
Right.
Or I like to do they have this dance called Right Foot Creep. I ain't a young boy, and I just have a personality where I just like to dance, listen to funny videos, like do it for the fun, or I ain't gonna do it, or just some stuff it's funny and all that viral stuff. I keep up with it, trends and stuff.
Okay, Xavier, this is a big question that all the single ladies are waiting for me to ask. Are you dating slash single? How can the ladies find you? Because I know that your DMs stay full on IG.
Yes, they are always. I am single. I'm currently looking for someone who's dating and you're I like big girls. I have been single since high school. I was 18.
Well, that's good. It's great to take your time.
Just been ready to settle down, reaching out to all girls, all that stuff, but I'm not chasing it anymore. I'm kind of letting them come to me as my future gets brighter.
Right. You're chasing improvement.
Yes.
Yes. So can you give us like one of your favorite quotes or scriptures?
My favorite scripture is Jeremiah 29:11. For God knows the plans I have for you, hope for to prosper and give you a better future. So Jeremiah 29:11 has always been my favorite scripture because no matter where I'm going, God knows the plans He has for me, and He hopes to give me a better future. And God just guides me in every way. When I come to wrestle, I like to go to the wrestling center, Georgia. I kind of relocate a lot, and I move a lot. I move houses like every year, move to different apartments, and go to different universities and school. I went to Chattanooga Technical College, went to Marietta High School, Osborne High School, Griffin Middle School, Belmont Elementary. Now I work at Taco Bell.
So with moving, you can say that you've experienced a lot of You had a lot of experience with different atmospheres, different
Yeah,
states. So that's kind of good, to get out, to be able to experience a different environment so that you know exactly what environment you want to be in.
yes, ma'am.
So, Xavier, we talked to your mom in the pre-interview before the podcast. We
Yes.
talked about your mom. Can you tell us what role that your mom played in your life and all the amazing things you have going on today?
My mom is like my everything. My mom is like my ace, my best friend. She's always there for me. She's been there for me since I was a baby. I didn't have my father around a lot, so my brother was always there. My brother would come and teach me things, and he was my male role model. High school, he taught me how to become athletic. He taught me how to do sports. He taught me how to dress. He taught me just all different varieties of things. And I also had my stepdad there, but as time grew, we were homeless and changed, and my mom and him got separated, and now we're kind of it's just me and my mom. I always had my mom, so it's always been me and my mom,
Yes.
the brother and sister. It has always been us. We kind of don't really have family. We just have nieces. It's always been us. Brother, sister, it's always been us. It always will be us.
Right on. Okay, last question, Xavier. What do you want to leave the listeners, and how can they find you on all your social media platforms?
So they can find me on Instagram at X Wanna Be Great. They can find me on Twitter at X Wanna Be Great. They can find me on Snapchat at X Wanna Be Great. They can find me on TikTok at X Wanna Be Great. They can find me on Triller at X Wanna Be Great. And they can find me on what's that? YouTube at X Wanna Be Great. And also my other Snapchat is Famous X. It's three A's, three S's, dot X, and that's my personal Snapchat.
Okay.
Before I was X Wanna Be Great, I was Famous X, and I changed it to X Wanna Be Great, like 2018, because that wasn't me anymore. So my Snapchat is Famous X, Famous dot X, three A's, three S's, dot X. And I have Facebook at Xavier XAVIER space ASV.
All right, that's amazing. Thank you for taking the time out to share with us, to just give your perspective of, being someone that wrestles and has special needs, because I'm sure there's someone out there that can use this and that will help them cope with whatever they're going through.
Yes.
So,
And
and
thank you. I would like to thank my managers, Miss Angela Amazing and Miss Shakita, for having me. You guys are my team, and I thank you for everything.
absolutely. And that's a wrap. So this is brought to you by Mom Manager Angela Amazing. Tate, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys on the next show.